I want to show you the system I've just developed that'll help anybody build a personal brand on LinkedIn without using a ghostwriter, without spending hours every day crafting the perfect post. It uses AI, it uses make.com, and it'll create LinkedIn copy for you that sounds just like you. So if that sounds interesting, keep watching. Okay, so this is what you need if you want to create your very own AI LinkedIn ghostwriter. You need a phone, you need make.com, and you need Airtable. Um, you need a phone because you want to record your thoughts. I generally like to record my thoughts when I'm just out on a walk. So you do whatever works for you, but your thoughts don't have to be super structured. You need to have a unique point of view. You certainly need to have a unique point of view, I'd say. You need to have a perspective on a subject, and all you do is take your phone, go to voice memo, and just record your thoughts on anything that you want. So once you have your recording on your phone, you can come back home and you can upload your voice clip in Airtable. So I have this column called voice memo 2. Obviously, you should name your tables a lot better, have a proper column name, but just upload your voice clip in that column. Then I would suggest have a column, an empty column for transcription, because when you transcribe your audio, you want it to come here in one of the columns. This is a button column, which when I click, obviously that's not the spelling of transcribe. Hopefully you know how to spell better. But when you click that button, it should trigger the workflow in make.com. So that's the button column. And then this LinkedIn post column is where you'll see the LinkedIn post generated using AI. Before we have a look at the make scenario, let me have you listen to my audio clip. It's about a minute long, so bear with me. And I'm talking about Sora, which is the latest text to audio video generator by OpenAI. I want you to have a listen to it, because then you'll see how incoherent my thoughts were. It's literally just a brain dump, and how I'm using AI to then structure those thoughts and create this perfect post for me that could just, as is, be used on LinkedIn. All right, so let's have a listen, and I hope this works. I know people are going absolutely crazy about Sora. It is indeed the best text to video generators out there. But I think conversations on social media are all sounding exactly the same. Yes, there are a few very cool videos floating around. There's one of a dog jumping from one window to the other. And but I think it's important to also talk about the risks. And the thing that I want to mention is that I believe in the next couple of years, the media industry is going to be significantly impacted. Why? Because I think businesses will be able to pull off so much more with smaller teams. And the other thing to bear in mind is that the cost of AI videos is just going to keep going down. And the quality, on the other hand, is just going to keep getting better. So I think that's a conversation that people should have and people shouldn't be afraid of having. Okay, gosh, absolutely hate listening to your own voice, don't you? I mean, I know I do. But this is just to show you that it's just a brain dump, right? So that's what you want to do. Spend a minute or two talking about anything you want to talk about on LinkedIn. All right, so now let's just jump into make and see how it works. This is the super simple make scenario. I have a webhook that gets triggered every time somebody clicks on this button. That's the Airtable module to get the record. This is the module used to extract the URL, because if you don't use this module, OpenAI will not be able to use your audio clip. So we have that. And then this module is for transcribing the voice memo. This module is for creating the LinkedIn post. I'm using GPT-4 for that, and I'll show you the exact prompt and a few other settings. And this Airtable module is for then updating these two columns with the transcription and the LinkedIn post. Let's run this. Because you've just listened to my audio clip, I think it makes sense for me to just run this, and you can see what the output's like, and then we can build it from scratch. So that's the one we want to test. I will move my face here. Now transcribe my audio. Webhook accepted. You'll see that all of this is working beautifully. This is getting transcribed, LinkedIn post is generated, and Airtable. It looks like the entire scenario is complete. Now, if you come back to your Airtable base, you'll see these two columns are filled. I actually want to just take a moment and I want to show you the format I have used for LinkedIn. You'll see there's a specific format I have used. You can use your own format, but this will make a lot more sense when I show you the prompt. But let's have a read through the LinkedIn post. AI and video generations is the talk of the town. We're all mesmerized by Sora, the latest text-to-video generator. Yes, there's been an explosion of creative videos. The jumping dog one, a masterstroke. But let's also discuss the elephant in the room. In the next few years, I foresee a significant shakeup in the media industry. Smaller teams achieve more. Sound like a dream, right? There's a flip though. The cost of AI videos will keep dipping. And the quality, well, that's only just going to ascend. Is it a difficult conversation? Sure, but it's a conversation we need to have. Don't shy away from it. After all, change is only constant. You know what? That's not bad at all. But in case you're not super happy with that, let's just try this one more time. Let's ask it to transcribe it again and see what we get. Oh, I'm not sure if it's running. Should I? No, that's it. Yeah, that's accepted. So you don't have to use the first version. You can just generate a new LinkedIn post if you weren't happy with the earlier one. The only thing you have to bear in mind is that you're using GPT-4 that uses more tokens. So have a think about that. Have a think about what it's worth for you. How much money do you want to spend on this? But anywho, let's have a look at this. How so? It's simple. Well, I'm not going to go through the whole thing again, but you get my drift. So there you have it. This is how you can have your very own LinkedIn ghostwriter using AI. The most important part of the whole system, I think, is the prompt. So let's spend a couple of minutes on the prompt. If you're interested in this prompt, just let me know in the comments below. But the important parts of the prompt is that I have given an example post right at the end. Now, this example post can be either your own post, one of your best performing posts, or a post that you have been, a format that you've been using on your own LinkedIn, or it can be somebody else's post that you're inspired by. In this example, I've taken someone called Dina's post. I'm not even going to try and pronounce her second name because I'm going to butcher it. But I've been following Dina for a while, and she is a copywriter. Her posts are just solid. Her formatting is beautiful. Visually, it looks great. There's a strong hook. The content is good, and there's a strong closing as well. So I love Dina's post. So I've used one of her posts as an example copy in the prompt, which is given right here in the end. And I've also given it an example of what I want the format to look like. So there's a first line of copy, there's a space in between, there's a second line, there's a space in between, and then there's a third line. And I'm using GPT-4. And the temperature is 0.8. So this sort of a setup has been working really well for me. And I think I've done a few experiments, and this seems to be giving the best output. But you're welcome to, use this prompt, play around with it, tweak it as much as you like, and see what works for you. Okay, so let's build this from scratch. All I have done is I've created the webhook because I didn't want to waste time doing that. But I have created the webhook, and the next thing you have to do is have an Airtable module, get a record, connect automatically. Now you need to connect this to your Airtable base. It is voice memo to LinkedIn posts. Table 1, you definitely should name your tables much better than I do. Okay, we auto align this, and let's just try. I want to just run this and see if this works. This works. I should have just run this as well. Let's see if this works. Yeah, that works. And what I want you to look at is this voice memo, the output, and you'll notice that there is a URL here. This voice memo is column 2, this one. If we want OpenAI to be able to use this file, what we need to use is the HTTP module. What you need is get a file. And the URL would be the voice memo to URL, right? Okay, let's test this and see if this works. You need a URL. All right, I'm gonna give you a URL. And yeah, that seems to work just fine, because what you have is this data is what you're after. That's the transcribed text, which you will then use in the OpenAI module. Create a transcription, map, file name, data. Prompt you don't need to add, but you just need to say, I mean, I just say, transcribe this audio clip. That's it. That should be fine. And file data is data that I just showed you. That's it, really. It's an okay. And let me try and run this. Let's just try and run this from the beginning and see if it works. Okay, transcribe my audio, accepted. Yep. Okay, this is good. That's the transcribed text. So far, so good. Next, you need an OpenAI create a completion module, because what you want to do now is you want to use that transcribed text and create a LinkedIn post. Model that I generally like to use is GPT-4. You can also try GPT 3.5, but I personally find GPT-4 to be better. And what I would do is use a system prompt here. I have my prompt saved right here. That's my system prompt. And then you need a user prompt, which is the transcribed text, which is this, right? And that is it. That's your OpenAI. That's your OpenAI module done. Here we can run a quick test and see if it works. Let's take the text from here. Let's go here. Let's run this module and see if it works. Looks like it's working. But because this is GPT-4, it generally takes a little bit longer. All you need to do is go to choices, messages, content, and that's your LinkedIn post. Love it. I love it. It's really good. Next, what do we want? We want the transcribed text and the LinkedIn post to be populated in our Airtable base. So all you have to do is create the last module, which is OpenAI update a record module. That's the base we're using. This is the table record. That's the record. And and transcription, which is this column, would have, where's the transcribed text? That's the transcribed text. That's what goes here. And LinkedIn post column would be message and content. That's it. Okay. All right. There we have it. Let's run the entire scenario once. Go here and you click on transcribe text, accepted. And the text is transcribed. And that's your LinkedIn post created, and Airtable base should have an updated record, which it does. That's your transcribed text, exactly what we listened to some time back. And let's have a look at the LinkedIn post. Let's spice up the narrative, shall we? There's an avalanche of cool videos. A dog nimbly leaping between windows comes to mind. Let's do more than just embrace it. Let's discuss, accept, and shape it. I think it's quite all right. I wouldn't use such big words. I'd probably want it to be slightly more conversational. So if I were you, I'd probably try and generate the text once more, because I'm not super keen on this one, but I would say it's 90% there. So there you have it. This is my super simple AI ghostwriter. If you like it, I'd love to know in the comments below. On LinkedIn, I have seen a few other systems floating around, which requires you to, create a 20-page brand profile first, a 20-page company profile, upload that in the knowledge base for LLM to be trained. And I think that, those systems might be working so well, but realistically, I just don't think a lot of people have the time to do that level of homework. This, on the other hand, I think works really well, and it really just is a brain dump of your thoughts and then letting AI do the magic. So give it a try. If you think it works for you, I would definitely love to know. And yeah, that's it from me for now, and enjoy the rest of your day.